This time we'll call to order the June 15th, 2026 meeting of the City of Clearwater Community Redevelopment Agency. This time we'll move to item 2.1 on the agenda.
Approve the minutes of the May 18, 2026 CRA meeting.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. This time we'll move to unanimous, but Trustee Cotton is not here
Yes.
today. Yeah. That will move to item 3 on the agenda. Citizens to be heard regarding items not on today's agenda. At this time, are there any citizens here today who desire to be heard on a community redevelopment agency issue that is not on today's agenda? Seeing no, we'll move to item 4.1.
Present Hatchet Hangout as the June 2026 winner of the Clearwater CRA Business Spotlight Program.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tasha Hatley, CRA Specialist, and today I'm pleased to recognize Hatchet Hangout as our June Business Spotlight winner. Located at 709 North Myrtle Avenue, Hatchet Hangout is a unique destination for recreation and entertainment since opening in North Greenwood in 2020. Owned by Drew Novichik and managed by Barry Burris, the business offers axe throwing, league play, private events, team building activities, and fundraisers in a fun and welcoming environment for guests of all skill levels. As an official axe throwing league venue, Hatchet Hangout provides opportunities for both casual and competitive throwers to connect through friendly competition and experiences. The business also supports local nonprofits and community organizations through fundraising, partnerships, donations, and events. To help share their story, the CRA and Public Communications collaborated to create a video highlighting the business and its impact. The video has been shared across our social media platforms, and a full article is available on our website at myclearwatercra.com. Hatchet Hangout supports the city and CRA's shared goals of supporting local businesses by expanding recreational activities within our redevelopment areas. At this time, we invite you to view the video showcasing Hatchet Hangout.
My name is Barry Burris. I've been the general manager of Hatchet Hangout since inception. We've been in North Greenwood since 2021. North Greenwood was a great choice for us because of the closeness to everything. You have the downtown, you have the major bus routes, and it's a thriving neighborhood that is just up and coming, so we want to contribute to that neighborhood. First-time visitors should expect a high energy, a fun atmosphere for all. We have loads of games, tons of drinks for the guests to choose from. Each lane gets a coach. We help the group make sure they're having a great experience, and we want everybody from 8 to 80 to have a great time. Community involvement is huge in our business. We love donating to organizations like Pet Pal. We like to do a lot of events. We do host leagues. We also have a mobile trailer where we come out to parties and local events. So the hours of operation are 11 to 11, 7 days a week. We like to be flexible. We're here every day. Come in and make your reservation today.
Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Certificate right under your folder.
Oh, sorry about that. Excuse me.
All right.
Sure, yeah.
Come over here, please. Appreciate it. Okay, so you'll hold it.
Congratulations again. Yeah.
All right, if I can get everyone together so I can take a group picture. All right, so we're gonna have you right over here. So we can
There
get
we go.
everyone, perfect. Perfect. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. And hey, I appreciate what all CRA is doing and the opportunity to be part of the North Greenwood District and really the support and really what it means to us as a business trying to make this happen in really North Greenwood. And also this weekend is Father's Day. All fathers get to throw free. All right? All right.
Yeah, well, thank you. You've been there for a while now, so you're sustaining business, and appreciate your continued success. And for those out there wondering, it's real hatchets, so and it's completely safe. It's very well monitored, and you do a great job. It's a lot of fun for those. I've done it myself with my son, and it's a fun activity. So, congratulations and thank you for being here. That moved to item 4.2 on the agenda.
Approve the 2025 annual financial statement.
Good afternoon, Monica Mitchell, Assistant Finance Director. This item is for the presentation of the Community Redevelopment Agency's audit for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2025. The CRA began issuing separately audited financial statements in fiscal year 2020. Although CRA funds have always been included in the city's audit, which will be presented later this afternoon, the transactions receive more audit attention here, and this audit also includes procedures to test for compliance with certain provisions of Chapter 163 of the Florida statutes, commonly known as the Community Redevelopment Act. Lauren Strope, our audit partner with Cherry Beckert, is here to do the presentation. I don't know. There it is. Okay.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Lauren Strope, and I am an audit partner with Cherry Beckert. I'm going to begin by telling you, I promise you I'm a better auditor than a presenter. So if I start going too fast, just let me know, but I'm happy to be here with you today. This is just a brief agenda of the items that we're going to cover, but I'll just go ahead and hop into it. This was your client service team. As I mentioned, my name is Lauren Strope. I did want to point out Brian Liffick. He does what's referred to in my industry as a cold review, meaning after me and my team complete our audit of the financial statements, he reviews everything and makes sure that our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed. All right, probably the most important slide of all, the results of the audit. So we did complete your audit and we issued the financial statements May 8th of this year. And we actually follow a variety of different standards when we complete your audit. The first is generally accepted auditing standards, and the second is government auditing standards. We'll get into that a little bit more in the next slide. But on that first report, we have issued an unmodified opinion. Sounds a little funny. It used to be called an unqualified opinion, but essentially it's a clean opinion, and it's the highest level of assurance that we can provide you as your external auditor. It's the only type of opinion that you want. We also mentioned a no comment letter under Chapter 10.550 rules of the Auditor General of the state of Florida. That's what Monica alluded to a little bit ago, that has some very specific CIA compliance requirements within it. And we are pleased to report that we issued an unmodified opinion there as well. And finally, we issued an unmodified opinion on compliance with the investment policy here in the state of Florida. All right, I know you've all been hanging on the edge of your seats since I told you we'd go over the government auditing standards report, but what that does is really requires us to take a deep dive into the internal controls that you have here over financial reporting. And when we did that, we need to evaluate if we have any findings, whether or not they're a material weakness or a significant deficiency. A material weakness is one such that there's a deficiency or combination thereof, where there could be a material misstatement in your financial statements that is not corrected in a timely basis. A significant deficiency, while not as severe, would still warrant attention from you, those charged with governance. This year we did report one material weakness, and that had to do with an asset that had been donated to the CRA in the previous year, so it was donated in 2024, but was not reflected in the financial statement records at that time. In order to correct this, there was a restatement of your net position of this amount, and so that was the corrected misstatement that occurred during the year. We are pleased to report that there were no uncorrected misstatements, i.e. something that was found that management did not correct. All right, the qualitative aspects of accounting practices, management is responsible for selecting those. If you look at note 2 to the financial statements, that'll describe all of the policies that you have. You did adopt 2 new ones this year. That's just a byproduct of the fact that the Government Auditing Standard Board said that you had to adopt. So you did, but there was no change in the way things are accounted for, simply disclosures within the financial statements themselves if you're comparing them to last year. And we did not know any inappropriate accounting policies or practices. As part of our audit, we do look at related party transactions and relationships, and there were no significant ones within the CRA's financial statements. To that end, there were also no significant or unusual transactions that occurred within the CRA this year. That's not to say that management doesn't have a lot going on, but it is to say that things were in line with normal business practice for the entity. The financial statements are not all just hard numbers. There are a significant amount of estimates that go through that. We as auditors spend a lot of time looking at those estimates and making sure they're fair in relation to the financials as a whole. If you want to read through that in all your spare time, that kind of goes over the significant ones that we found. We do believe that the financial statements disclosures are neutral, consistent, and clear for the reader. We are independent of the CRA and of the city, both in fact and in appearance, and we did not perform any non-attest or non-audit functions for the CRA in the last year. Just some other required communications. There were no difficulties or disagreements with management. I did not have to speak with folks outside of the engagement team to complete this audit, and we did receive a management representation letter signed the same day as the report. To our knowledge, management has not consulted with others regarding accounting treatment. I have no findings or other issues that I'm required by professional standards to disclose to you today. We do not audit specifically for fraud or illegal acts, but we do work in procedures in our audit to address that risk. If we had become aware of any of those items, we would have come directly to you with that information. We are not aware of any situation where the CRA would not be a going concern entity. Finally, I'm always talking about the past. Upcoming, there are 2 new standards that we're going to work with management to make sure that the CRA is ready to hit the ground running next year when we complete our audit. And with that, I will be quiet and answer any questions that you might have.
Okay. Any questions? Not, is there anyone here from the public today that desires to speak to this agenda? I'm seeing none. Is there a motion?
Move to approve agenda item 4.2.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. Move to agenda item 4.3.
Review Evaluation Committee results of the redevelopment proposals for 7 community redevelopment agency-owned parcels located between South Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue and South Washington Avenue, north of Gold Street, and if deemed appropriate by the Community Redevelopment Agency Board of Trustees, authorize staff to negotiate a development, purchase, and sale agreement.
Good afternoon. Jesus Nino, CRA Executive Director for the record. Today I'm here to provide you with an overview of the evaluation results of the redevelopment proposals submitted in response to request for development proposals number 15-26. This is for 7 community redevelopment agency-owned properties that are generally located, and for the public here, I put the map up. These are generally located between South Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue and South Washington Avenue, just north of Gold Street within the downtown community redevelopment area. So these properties are also located within the Prospect District. Again, this is for the public watching. These are also located within the Prospect District as identified in the downtown community redevelopment area plan. Collectively, these parcels total approximately 3.13 acres, and they were marketed as a unified redevelopment opportunity intended to support redevelopment objectives of the downtown. This is history more for the public and individuals up here. On January 14th, 2026, CRA did issue a request for development proposal seeking projects that were consistent with the downtown community redevelopment area plan and objectives. So the solicitation was advertised for 30 days in the Tampa Bay Times and the city's website. So the preference criteria identified in the request for development proposals included 1, providing optimal community and economic benefit to the immediate area and the city of Clearwater. 2, providing a competitive purchase offer above the appraised value of $2.52 million. And 3, proposing a project that included commercial uses such as retail, office, hospitality, and other complementary uses. The solicitation also stated that proposals consisting of 100% workforce or affordable housing could be considered even if all the preference criteria was not fully met. So in response to the solicitation, the CRA did receive 5 credible proposals. These were from 5 qualified development entities. So on January 21st, 2026, a multi-departmental evaluation committee convened. This was in a publicly advertised meeting with minutes taken of the meeting. They were charged to evaluate the submitted proposals based on that criteria of the evaluation criteria, including, again, community and economic benefit, purchase price, project diversity, regulatory compliance, their financial completeness, feasibility, and the developer experience and capacity. And just by reviewing all the proposals, all the developers do have capacity to pull off development projects all over the state of Florida. So again, the CRA did receive 5 proposals in response to the solicitation, and based on the scores assigned by the evaluation committee, the proposals were ranked from the highest to lowest as follows. First was Archway Partners, LLC. Second was New Star Development, LLC. 3 was Clearwater MLK Civic District Holdings, LLC. 4th was Veller Development Company. Then number 5 was DW Development Group. Some of these developers are here today if you have any questions of them. So I'm mostly going to highlight the features of the highest ranked proposal. So the following is an overview of the top ranked proposal submitted by Archway Gardens, LLC. They're also in partnership with the Clearwater Housing Authority. So the Housing Authority will participate as a co-developer and ownership partner. So that proposal was titled as Washington Commons. It consists of mixed-use, mixed-income residential developments containing approximately 178 residential units. This is within a 5-story development proposed to be constructed in 2 phases. So the proposal also includes approximately 3,000 square feet of neighborhood-serving commercial space, which is intended to activate the streetscape and support the surrounding area. So that development composes of a mix of 1 and 2 bedrooms, units serving households below 80% area median income, or AMI, and includes amenities such as a fitness center, community and multi-purpose room, rooftop solar infrastructure, electric vehicle charging stations, and other sustainability features. So that proposal also incorporates pedestrian-oriented urban infill design principles that are intended to support compatibility within the surrounding area. So as far as the financing of the capital stack for that particular project, this is a combination of public and private funding sources, including low-income housing tax credits and other state and local funding programs. So Archway, they intend to pursue both the 9% and the 4% credit financing programs administered through the Florida Housing Finance Corporation and the Pinellas County Housing Authority. So the proposals also include a request for approximately, this is for you to consider, approximately $1.22 million from the city's housing funds, and I'm sure they'll be coming to the CRA as well. But they also offer the full appraised value of $2.52 million for the acquisition of the 7 parcels. I also want to state for the record here is that Archway intends, because this is going to be their #1 priority project in the area, to submit for the 9% low-income housing tax credits. Their project basically has to be permit ready, and because of that, and because of what they're going to be spending for engineering, architecture, consultants, they are requesting to basically have this to hold it for 5 cycles, because it's not easy to get to 9%. So they're requesting for 5 funding cycles that can be easily 5 years. And due to the affordable and workforce housing components contained within that proposal, the item was also forwarded to the city's Neighborhood and Affordable Housing Advisory Board for review on May the 12th, 2026. That board had no objections to the request. So that proposal is generally in alignment with the city's community redevelopment area plan, goals and objectives, and also with the city's strategic plan, which is shown there on your memos. So at this time, staff is requesting the CRA Board and Trustees here review the evaluation committee's results and if deemed appropriate, authorize staff to either move forward with whatever proposal you deem appropriate. In addition, again, the developers are here to answer any questions. I'm happy to answer any questions, and I can even go over the other proposals if you wish.
Are there any questions in this agenda? Councilmember
Couple.
Menino.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Jesus. Quick question. I know that 9% tax credit is extremely competitive. Is this project contingent on that 9% award, and will it go away if it's not successful?
If that's all they're pursuing, eventually, if they're not successful, they may choose to pivot and go somewhere else. But they're also proposing to go after the 4% low-income housing tax credits in addition to the tax-exempt bonds that are associated with that. So that is easier to obtain, but it's also difficult because of the bonds. But also have the developer here to answer any questions I may not be able to answer.
Thank you. 178 mixed affordable houses in our community down there would be a big help. I did see that the second pick you had was only 64. That's a pretty vast difference, but I think both have identified they were going to go for that competitive 9%. I was just wondering if either one were committed, whether they got it or not. Thank you.
Anybody
Thank you,
else?
man.
We're giving direction here, but it's good to give opportunity for the public to comment on this one. We're not approving anything, but
Any public comment
Yeah.
on this?
Unless there's a motion on the floor or technical.
we're simply giving direction and reviewing, so.
Well, they would have to provide direction if they want to make a selection. And then if there's a motion, then public comment?
Yes.
And we are requesting a direction to move forward on.
So you need a motion?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Is anyone here today from the public that desires to speak to this agenda item? Okay, hearing, seeing none, I would like to say, that Archway did do the Clearwater Gardens project, and it came out very, very nice. I mean, so as far as I know, it's been very successful. So that's a significance to me. So with that, is there a motion?
Motion to approve agenda item 4.2. Sorry.
So what
Three.
is the,
Three,
so
sorry.
clarification
Just
on
to
the
give
motion?
direction.
Are you directing staff to negotiate with a specific individual, and if so, name the individual?
So I guess it's motion to, not motion or direction, just direction?
You can move to authorize staff to begin negotiations
With Archway.
With Archway?
So-
Okay.
Yeah.
So said.
Second.
Okay, so the motion is to, is giving direction to staff to
Negotiate.
negotiate with Archway Partners a development purchase and sale agreement.
Yes, and we'll bring that back to you at a later date.
Okay? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you.
Okay.
Agenda item 4.4.
Downtown revitalization?
This is your item to discuss anything you may want to discuss as far as the downtown.
Okay? Any discussion? Okay? If not, then we'll move to 5.1, Director's Report.
Put it on there, please. Thank you. Thank you again. Jesus Nito, CRA Executive Director, for the record. This is the June 2026 report for the downtown and the North Greenwood areas. Just to start with a little bit of updates for the downtown, since we do have the public here, I did want to note that on June 30th from 3 to 4 p.m. here at the library, we're going to have our guest speakers for the topic of the Bay Care Sound anniversary. So the guest speakers will be Bobby Rossi and Sharon Reed Kane with Ruth Eckerd Hall. So it's exciting if you want to come and listen to the wonderful items that they do for the city of Clearwater downtown. So as far as the library, so this round, as far as what we're doing, is becoming very, very interesting. Just because the first go-around, there wasn't really any construction in the downtown. And a lot of the individuals that indicated they would potentially submit the first round didn't. And mostly it was because we kind of had a dream that there was going to be all this construction, but now that has been realized, and you see tractors and you see shovels in the ground. So hopefully this go-around we have more interest. In addition, we have intensified our efforts to communicate what we're looking for downtown Clearwater. We've even sent some staff members up to conferences in other states just to potentially see if we can get more interested individuals to submit. So the numbers up here, so far we've contacted 495 organizations. We've had 84 plus engagements. We've had 11 plus in-person meetings, and it's actually 4 or 5 times more than that if you just count individuals that we've been meeting with. We provided approximately 6 or 7 tours. So I did want to highlight that we did send 2 staff members to 2026 American Alliance Museum's annual meeting and museum expo, and I think the staff came back with a lot of hopefully interested individuals in Clearwater in general, not just the library. So we're having that staff put together internal meetings to discuss some of those ideas for the rest of Clearwater, but hopefully it did attract individuals that may go ahead and apply for the library. Not sure if Mr. Bowder would like to add anything from that. So this one is also interesting because this was a partnership between the city, the CRA, Pinellas County, and a private developer for the Indigo Apartments. As you all are aware, that particular property, the land went into the Pinellas County Land Trust. The CRA contributed, invested $2 million, and the city invested another $1 million. And we were just right there in the mix with them, especially the housing division and the CRA division, obviously. But as you see the numbers here, they have their big banner up on the side of the building that they're now leasing. So we're hoping that once they are completely done with this project, that we all celebrate together. For the Osceola parking garage, this is another partnership between the CRA, the city, and hopefully private entities, the tenants that we eventually get into the garage. This is CRA land, but it is a city asset. So as far as economic development staff, I'm very proud to say that they're deeply into interviewing potential prospects, and hopefully in the future they issue out an advertisement to attract tenants. And I may have them come up here and present their findings. This is Evo. You hear a lot of this on the news. You've had presentations, so I'm not going to go too much into it. But they continue to put out their social medias, and they continue to work with the city's planning and development department and also the city administration. And if you're interested in information from the public, it is the clevelandstreetalliance.com website. This one I kind of already discussed at the last meeting because it was fairly brand new, but again, for those here in the public, Nourish and Nosh is open on 601 Cleveland Street, Suite 140. So if you haven't stopped by, please do so. Very good food, by the way. So Glazed Donuts, this was the old Subway restaurant here in the downtown at 411 South Myrtle Avenue. They're now open for business, so we're hoping to get some donuts for our department. So, but it is exciting that they're open. I know they had a few struggles, but we're trying to provide them the best customer service possible. All the divisions that are involved with them. For North Greenwood, we do have the North Ward Elementary School. So this is one that's a partnership between multiple departments, also with Mr. Battle involved in the thick of it. So we're continuing to move forward with pre-marketing, to meeting with the community, meeting with individuals that are interested. Economic Development, Ms. Audra Aja and Mr. Christopher Edwards, they're right there providing tours at any opportunity. And we are planning a night at North Ward. This is an open house to engage residents and stakeholders and interested developers. In addition, we're interviewing developers right now and other individuals that are into the historic architectural field, just to kind of have them almost be like consultants to give us ideas on how to better activate that space when the time comes, and to put out a better advertisement or notice for the development community. Did you want to say anything about the night at North Ward? Because it's pretty exciting. So the North Ward CRA is a community advisory committee. Like I said last time, they have their sea legs now, so now they're, instead of trying to learn procedures on Robert's Rule of Order, different policies, now they're really getting deep into projects that are happening in North Greenwood, which is a wonderful thing. In addition, it's causing other members of the community to come forward to participate in those neighborhoods. It's not easy all the time, but it bears a lot of fruit for the entire city. Their next meeting is scheduled for July the 7th, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. at the North Greenwood Recreation Center. I did want to highlight a bit of the wonderful items that are happening in North Greenwood. And Miss Amber Bryce, she's been instrumental in bringing a lot of public art, a lot of public murals into the North Greenwood area. For instance, we have the Safe House of North Greenwood. This is located at 1201 North Betty Lane. It's a beautiful mural there, so if you haven't gone and seen it in person, it looks a lot better when you're in front of it. It's just almost like a movie theater when you go inside. Same thing at Cherry Harris Park, which is 1141 Beckett Street. We have the Play, Learn, Grow new mural there. Then the North Greenwood Library, 905 North Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue. That's a beautiful mural there as well. Then the 1045 North Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue. That's the Isaiah M. Gully Head Start Center. Beautiful art. Then we do have the North Greenwood Recreation Center Storage Building. This is going to be a new piece of art that's coming there soon, as you see there on the screen. We showed it off at the last CAC meeting as well. And we're wrapping up our grant communications and marketing to the North Greenwood. So to celebrate some of our wins out there, whenever we do rehab a home or a commercial business, we're going to try to have signs in front of the buildings, obviously in compliance with the city's sign policies or any other rules the city has in place. But this is just a sample of some of the signs we'll put in individuals' yards whenever we do improvements to properties. This event is taking place today. So this is put together by the Clearwater Urban Leadership Coalition. Of course, the CRA did provide grant funding for the shipping container project, in addition to the city and the CRA providing land for the project. So tonight, they're actually going to have a taste of the village at the Recreation Center, where they're going to showcase some of those individuals that are potentially going to go into the container village. So anyone in the audience, you're invited to attend today. It's open, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Again, North Greenwood Recreation Center. So property disposition, we're continuing to move forward. Obviously, you heard the presentation today for these particular properties here in front of you. These are the Washington Avenue MLK site, so I'm not going to go into that. Then this one is 103 Northeast Avenue. So this particular property is right now being advertised for disposition. And once that window closes, then we'll have a team, basically city administration, others take necessary next steps to dispose of that property over to the CRA. And today, you also have a tranche of properties that are going to city council being transferred from city to CRA, so I'm not going to get into too much detail on that either. But we're continuing to dispose our properties as much as possible. Obviously, there is a capacity issue with our legal department, but they're superstars and they get things moving fairly quickly at the moment. Not hopefully not forever. They're superstars in my book. I saw the face. But we're moving properties as fast as possible so we can get it out to the market and we get individuals to come and develop them and get them back on the tax rolls, and also just provide impactful projects for the community. And that concludes my presentation.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for the director? Councilmember Teixeira?
Not a question, but a comment. I know that we've been working closely regarding that library, and I'm so excited, and I'm very thankful for the robust efforts, the increased engagement, and thinking outside the box, even going to that conference, so I really appreciate it. and it shows because of all the interest that's going out there. So thank you so much. I'm also looking forward to the event tonight, so I guess I'll see you guys there. And I think the last thing was, I guess that's it. So thank you for everything that you've been doing. Oh, the properties, yes. I'm really appreciative that that it has become a priority to take care of our properties and take advantage of them and deal with them and process them. So thank you very much.
Councilwoman Menino.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Jesus. What a well-balanced report you just gave. Some very important ingredients to having a successful downtown and CRA when you look at some of the exciting things on residential buildings, not just the Bluffs, but 17-story, 208 units at the Indigo. That's exciting. New business expansions and ribbon cuttings, obviously exciting. Artscapes being put all over downtown and murals adding to that vibe and to the excitement and to the energy. Redevelopment all over the place, as you mentioned, and different community engagement opportunities for our community. That's awesome. I hope we truly continue to move forward with the direction of balance and really focusing on continuing to expand that residential component. You know, we've known for years that the sound was going to be amazing, but it was never going to be the silver bullet to success. We had to continue to find ways to put feet in our streets, and you do that on that residential piece. So with all these exciting businesses and redevelopment and art and everything, very exciting to hear those residential pieces moving forward. But thank you for that report.
Okay, anyone else? Just to echo what Councilman Menino just said, just so many great things happening in the CRA, and lots of momentum on all kinds of different things. Certainly for North Greenwood, you know, they continue to this container village, continue to make steps, and that's very exciting. The housing, getting people to live in these areas, more people live, work and play is important, so good report. Okay, with that, we will, nothing else for the director. We'll move to item 6 on the agenda, and that's board members to be heard.
Can I just say one thing? I'm sorry, Jesus didn't say it, but I didn't want to leave out this opportunity. June the 30th, Land Use and Zoning for North Greenwood, we will be having a public meeting, and you will receive from the manager's office a little bit later today a more detailed overview of that process as it moves forward. But just wanted to put that on the record as well. Thank you.
And we're going to be hitting the street on that one to get as many people as possible from the neighborhoods into that meeting.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, item 6, any board members to be heard? If not, we will adjourn the City of Clearwater Community Redevelopment Agency meeting for June 15th, 2026. Do we need a recess now or before the work session? Okay. This will call to order the June 15th, 2026 meeting of the City of Clearwater Pension Trustees. And we will move to, if I can find the right sheet, here it is. Item 2.1 on the agenda.
Approve the minutes of the April 20, 2026 Pension Trustees meeting.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Agenda item 3 today, are there any citizens here today to be heard regarding an issue with the pension trustees that's not on today's agenda? Okay. Hearing seeing none, we'll move to item 4.1.
Accept the January 1, 2026 annual actuarial valuation for the City of Clearwater's employee pension plan.
Good afternoon, Monica Mitchell, Assistant Finance Director. This item is requesting your formal acceptance of the plan's annual actuarial valuation dated January 1st, 2026. This valuation will guide us in determining the city's contribution to the employees' pension plan for the coming fiscal year. I would like to introduce the plan's actuary, Pete Strong, with Gabriel Roeder-Smith, who will review the actuarial report with you.
Good afternoon, pension trustees, at least for 10 minutes or so. This is probably the largest turnout that I've had for a pension trustees meeting, so.
You're gaining popularity.
It's all you.
So for the record, my name is Pete Strong. Been the actuary for the Clearwater pension plan for about 12 years now. And I'm happy to present the highlights of this year's valuation. I'll start with the demographics. We have 1,563 active members in the plan, down slightly from last year. 1,572 were in the plan as of 1/1/25. Total covered payroll is 128 million, up from 119, and so that translates to an average annual pay of about 82,000, up from 75,700 last year. There are 1,554 retirees receiving monthly checks from the pension plan. That's up a bit from 1,523 last year. The total annual pension payroll, or pensions being paid out, is 66.1 million versus 63.3 last year. And that means the average annual pension is about 42,500. Let's go to the next slide. The principal assumptions that we're using, we've been using 6.5% net of investment fees as the investment return assumption for the plan. That's also the discount rate to discount all the future expected pension payouts. That's been in place since 2021, so it's been stable at that 6.5 level. We're using the same, we're required by the state to use the same mortality rates that the Florida retirement system uses, and those were updated last year based on the Pub 2010 tables. For an age 65 retiree, the life expectancy is 86.5 for males, 88.6 for females, and for hazardous police and fire, it's 85.4 and 88.2. Experience during 2025, we had a nice investment return on the market value of assets, 11.4%. We're smoothing returns over 5 years. So the smooth, because we're still phasing in 2022, which was a negative year, the 5-year average is about 6.2. So on a smooth value basis, the actuarial value return was 6.27. The 10-year average return, though, is really good at 8.5%, so we're trending well ahead of the 6.5% assumption. Average salary increases last year were well ahead of expectations. We assumed salary increases varied by age and service and group, but the overall average expected rate was 5.74, and average actual salary increases were 11.56 on average. The mortality experience was lower than expected amongst retirees. We had a decrease in retiree payroll due to mortality of 845,000 versus 1.3 million expected. So people are living longer than they're expected to by the assumptions. Overall, that experience that I just went over led to a loss of 39 million. What that means is the unfunded liability, or the total liability versus the assets, climbed by 39 million versus what it was expected to do, which is about 3%, 3.17% of the liability. The required contribution is up 12.35 million this year, which is 9.6% of covered pay. Last year's was 7.3 million, or 6.15. It went up quite a bit because of the experience we just went over, the 11.56% salary increases versus 5.74. And that experience was mainly driven by the police and firefighter salary increase experience. Those salary increases and mortality experience led to a $4.6 million increase in the required contribution. And the plan surplus, fortunately this plan is in a very positive position relative to assets relative to liabilities. And so, but the surplus did decline by 39 million because of that experience. The plan does have a credit balance which can be used to offset the required contribution. It's $44.2 million, so well ahead of the required 12 million. But the city does have a requirement to fund at least 7% of covered pay. So you could fund 7% of covered pay and use a portion of the credit balance to offset the rest. The liabilities, the total present value of all future benefits as of 1/1/26 are 1.56 billion versus 1.47 billion last year. The accrued liability, which is based on service through 1/1/26, is 1.29 billion versus 1.23 billion last year. And we calculate a low default, and this is basically an annuity purchase rate. If you bought liabilities, or offset the liabilities to an insurance company and bought annuities for everybody at 4.9%, that liability would be 1.57 billion. So now the assets. The market value of assets is 1.44 billion, up from 1.34 billion last year. The smooth actuarial value is 1.39 billion versus 1.35 last year, and The actuarial smooth value minus the credit balance is 1.34. And that translates to very good funded ratios, 111.7% on a market value basis, 107.5% on a smooth actuarial value basis, 104% net of the credit balance. So in conclusion, the plan is in great shape. It's one of the only fully funded pension plans in the state that has over $250 million in assets. Amongst plans throughout Florida that have over $250 million, which is about 60 retirement plans for municipalities, Clearwater has the highest market value-based funded ratio at 111.7%. And to compare that to the Florida retirement system, which is the benchmark for pretty much all systems throughout Florida, they have an 82.2% funded ratio as of their last valuation, 87% on a market value basis. And they also have 150 times the assets of your plan at $212 billion. And they're using a higher investment return assumption at 6.7 as well. So this plan is in great shape. So I'll stop there and see if you have any questions.
Okay. Any questions regarding it? Does anyone here from the public desire to speak to this agenda? Seeing none. Just me, but I think, and maybe in the audience, I don't know, I think this is the best report you've ever given. So, you did a great job.
All right, thank you very much.
So, is there a motion to approve the report?
Move to approve agenda item 4.1.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
Thank you very much.
That moves to agenda item 4.2.
Approve investment advisory agreement with Dreas Capital Management LLC for investments and the Dreas Small Cap Growth Strategy Accounts, and authorize the appropriate officials to execute same.
Good afternoon, Monica Mitchell, Assistant Finance Director. This item is or backwards. The plan's investment consultant, CapTrust Advisors, conducted a money manager search for domestic equity small cap growth money manager to replace Riverbridge, a money manager recommended for termination by the Pension Investment Committee. The committee unanimously recommends Dry House Capital Management LLC as the replacement. Mike Valone, the city's investment consultant with CapTrust Advisors, is here to answer any questions you may have.
Okay. Does anyone here from the public desire to speak to this agenda item? You've seen none. Is there any trustees discussion? I would like to know just a little bit about the reasoning behind this and why we're doing this. So if he could come up and just maybe add a little bit more context to it for the public's benefit.
Good afternoon.
Thank
Mike
you.
Malone with CapTrust. So the reason for this change is Riverbridge, the manager that we're going to be terminating, has actually been in the portfolio for about 17 years now. They've been a long time good performer, but there have been some changes there, and performance really started to tail off about 2 years ago. Our research team recommended replacing them because they feel like there are some better options now. So Driehaus is the new firm that our research team at CapTrust recommends using for small cap growth. So it's really just about optimizing performance.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, anything else? If not, is there a motion?
Motion to approve agenda item 4.2.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item 4.3.
Approve the termination of small cap growth equity money manager Riverbridge Partners LLC, and authorize the appropriate officials to execute same.
This item is requesting approval to terminate an underperforming pension investments money manager. Riverbridge Partners was hired in 2010 as a domestic equity small cap growth money manager. Due to underperformance in recent years, the Pension Investment Committee is recommending termination at this time. And again, Mike Valone is here to answer questions.
Okay. Does anyone here from the public desire to speak to this agenda item? Hearing seeing none, is there any trustees discussion? If not, is there a motion?
Move to approve agenda item 4.3.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. Agenda item 4.4.
Approve the new hires for acceptance into the pension plan as listed.
Good afternoon, Tiffany Macros, Human Resources Director, available for any questions you may have.
Okay. Anyone here from the public desire to speak to this agenda item? Hearing seeing none, is there any trustees discussion? If not, is there a motion?
Welcome to the team, and move to approve agenda item 4.4.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Agenda item 4.5.
Approve the request of Salvatore Comando Police Department, Jonathan Kappa Police Department, Powell Dubinsky, Public Works Department, Keith Law, Library Department, Robert Reedy, Public Utilities Department, Philip Rupel, Public Utilities, and Anthony DeTesco from the Fire Department for regular pension as provided.
Good afternoon. Tiffany Macros, Human Resources Director, available for any questions.
Okay. Does anyone here from the public desire to speak to agenda item 4.5? Seeing none, is there any trustees discussion? If not, is there a motion?
Motion to approve agenda item 4.5.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. This time we'll move to item 5, Director's Report. If there's no Director's Report, then we will adjourn the June 15th, 2026 meeting of the City of Clearwater Pension Trustees. And we will recess for about 5 minutes before we begin the City Council work session. time, I'll call to order the work session of Clearwater City Council for June 15th, 2026. And we will move to item, 2.1 on the agenda, which is presentation of our June Service Awards. First, I'd like to call forward Nathan Brigman from the Parks and Recreation Department. He's celebrating his 20th year with the City of Clearwater. So we'd like to congratulate Nathan for being here today and invite you up here to receive an award for your long-term service to the city. Citizens appreciate all the employees who dedicate their careers to the city as you have, and thank you for your service to the City of Clearwater. So it doesn't say on the script that we have a reading, but here's a reading.
I want to be able to say all the great things that you've done over the 20 years, so just bear with me for just a moment. Nate began his career with the city in 2026 after graduating from Auburn University with a bachelor's degree in horticulture. He joined the city as a supervisor of the contracts team under the mentorship of Mr. Brian McMurphy. In his role, he quickly developed expertise in managing the city's vacant properties, overseeing numerous medians and coordinating multiple contractors across a wide range of operations. Shortly thereafter, he assumed leadership of the spray team, helping ensure that the grass throughout the parks remained healthy and insect-free. Throughout his tenure, Nate has consistently demonstrated innovation and forward-thinking leadership by introducing new equipment and operational improvements that enhance both functionality and precision in the field. One notable example is the Vortex, a machine still in use today that allows granular fertilizer to be applied directly between shrubs, significantly reducing waste and eliminating excess cleanup from sidewalks and other hard surfaces. Today, Nate oversees both beach and mainland teams, managing a staff of 40 full-time employees. His leadership responsibilities encompass the majority of the city's park system, excluding ball fields, as well as our world-renowned Clearwater Beach. Beyond his professional accomplishments, Nate is a devoted husband and father of 2 daughters. His wife serves as a managing partner at a law firm, and this year, his oldest daughter will begin her college journey at the University of Tennessee, an exciting milestone for their family. For the past 20 years, Nate has exemplified the City of Clearwater's commitment to superior public service and high-performing government through his dedication, innovation, and leadership. His ability to improve operations, mentor employees, and maintain some of the city's most visible and valued public spaces reflects a deep commitment to serving both our organization and the community with excellence. Thank you for your service, Nate. You truly make Clearwater thrive.
Thank you. Well, in addition to your 20 years of service, Nate, thank you supervising all those employees, 40 full-time employees. That's a big job, and appreciate the great work that you have done and continue to do. Thank you. With that, we'll move to the next one, which is presentation of the Employee of the Month Award for June of 2026. I'd like to call forward Michael DeCoter from Public Works, and this time it does say to ask the city manager to read the script.
Following the 2024 storm season, it became evident that the Public Works Department needed to modernize its hurricane preparedness efforts. Under the leadership of Dan and Jeremy Brown, Michael has played a key role in developing new electronic system for assessing damage to critical infrastructure following storm events. From creating resources for employees, conducting damage inspections, and establishing standards for Emergency Operations Center, GIS workflows, to automating FEMA reimbursement documentation, Michael has been instrumental in strengthening the city's storm response and recovery capabilities. More recently, the Public Works Hurricane Preparedness Team partnered with Chief Hood to expand these efforts across multiple city departments, offering additional support and exploring opportunities to implement the systems Michael and Dan have developed on a broader scale. Despite taking on these significant responsibilities, Michael has continued to excel in his regular duties, consistently delivering high-quality work and demonstrating exceptional dedication to the organization. Michael's commitment to innovation, preparedness, and collaboration has made the City of Clearwater safer, more resilient, and better equipped to respond to future emergencies. His efforts exemplify the city's commitment to superior public service by ensuring residents receive effective and efficient support when it matters the most. At the same time, his forward-thinking approach to process improvement and cross-departmental collaboration reflects the principles of a high-performing government, creating systems that enhance operational excellence and position the city for continued success. Michael, thank you for all that you do as you truly help make Clearwater thrive.
Okay. Congratulations, Michael, and thank you for coming today so we could recognize you. That will move to the next one, which is to call Fire Chief Chad Pittman forward to introduce our new Fire and Rescue Department employees.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, Council. Proud to be here with our 8 newest employees. All 8 of these just finished a very rigorous recruit training class, and they were all successful. So if you would permit me before the swearing in, I'd like to read a short bio on each of them. First, Adam Alicia, at the very end. He is a Clearwater native. Adam graduated from Clearwater High School, and he previously worked for Sunstar Ambulance, and he's excited to serve the community that he's always called home. So welcome, Adam. Next is Will Bateman. Will was born and raised in Pasco County, and after high school, he enlisted in the U.S. Air Force, where he began his career as a firefighter. He previously worked for the Pinellas Park Fire Department, and he loves traveling, off-roading, and spending time with his new wife. Ben Bossum. Originally from Ohio, Ben began his fire and EMS career in 2010. He is a veteran of the U.S. Air Force and a current member of the Florida Air National Guard. He's a graduate of the Ohio State University with a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing, and he previously worked for Manatee County EMS and Tampa General Hospital. Taylor Bird. Taylor was born in Winter Park and served in the U.S. Navy for 5 years as an aviation structural mechanic. He previously worked for Dunedin Fire Rescue and loves to fish, cook, and spend time with his family. Joseph Davidson. Joseph is from the Outer Banks of North Carolina and graduated from the University of Tampa, where he ran track and cross country. He spent 7 summers with Kill Devil Hills Ocean Rescue. Corin Pizzo. Corin was born in California but grew up in West Chase in Hillsborough County. He spent the last 2 years as a firefighter for Plant City Fire Rescue and is excited to serve the residents of Clearwater. Mike Shane. Born and raised in Dunedin, Mike grew up playing baseball and basketball and earned a scholarship to Florida College. He's excited to begin his first fire service job in his hometown area. Richard Stevens. Richard was born and raised in St. Petersburg and is a product of Gibbs High School. After graduation, he joined the U.S. Coast Guard, where he served 8 years as a boatswain's mate. And I present you our 8 newest firefighters.
This time we'll call on our city clerk, Rosemarie Call, to give all of you the oath.
I, Richard Stevens, do solemnly swear that I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution and government of the United States and of the state of Florida and the charter and laws of the city of Clearwater, that I am duly qualified to hold office under the charter and laws of the city of Clearwater, and that I will, well and faithfully, perform the duties
Thank you, congratulations, and Chief, a couple of us attended the graduation ceremony. It's, I know that this is a very tight-knit group, they all have become dear friends, and it's great to see that, not just the talent we've assembled here, but I know from talking with one of their fathers that one of the 8, his father told me that since he was a little boy, he's dreamed of being not just a firefighter, but a Clearwater firefighter. And they all have stories that were told in that day, and their family members see them show up that are so important in supporting them. This is a great, great class that you've got here. So congratulations to all of you, and welcome to our team.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks for coming today. Mike, good to see you. Congratulations. Okay, with that, next we'll move to item 3.1 and city manager. That's your item to present.
Leadership briefing on Bloomberg Harvard City Leadership Initiative.
So just as a real brief update while we wait for Hunter to get up here, our Bloomberg Harvard experience is the official consortium is getting ready to come to a close. However, certainly the lessons learned and the experiences that were taught will live on way into our future. And as a result of it, we've got some really incredible projects that we're going to continue to work through and work towards as a result of this. This team has been nothing short of absolutely outstanding, an incredibly dedicated group of employees that have spent a lot of time to see this project through. And so I certainly want to give them some credit, a lot of credit, for all of their efforts. Thank you, guys.
Excellent. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I'm Hunter Carlson with the Office of Management and Budget. I'm excited to provide you all with a final leadership update on the city's participation in the Bloomberg Harvard City Leadership Initiative. So to provide you all with some context of our identified challenge, the project topic that our team chose to undertake surrounds the experience that our customers have with the city's permitting services. The city has more than 20 individual types of permitted services, each with their own unique process and requirements. We acknowledge that the permitting process isn't just a regulatory one, but one which also carries real-life emotional impact that shapes how people experience our service. So the challenge we as a city experience today is one of increased demand from those we serve. As a team, we've heard from our customers and staff that some permitting processes can often feel full of unexpected hurdles, and that's why we're focusing on that experience to identify areas for improvement. And at this time, I will happily welcome up Allie Chandler-Bear to share more about our innovative approach of the project.
Good afternoon. I'm Allie Chandler-Bear, and I'm the Interim Director of Public Communications. So as discussed in the previous presentation, our aim, which is our ambitious, impactful mission, is to ensure that by 2030, Clearwater demonstrates ongoing excellence in service delivery through measurable improvements that reduce costs, increase efficiency, and strengthen public confidence in local government. So rather than jumping directly into the solutions and coming up with all of the ideas that we wanted to, we followed a very structured approach. So it started with design, talking to stakeholders, and then we moved into prototyping, which basically was just testing the idea without making any official investments. We heard from residents with a wide range of experiences interacting with the city, from frequent users to people who know our processes very well, all the way to some people who only engage with us maybe once in a year or so. A key part of this process was not just asking for feedback, but bringing in a wide range of residents into the conversation early enough to actually influence the project. One of the biggest outcomes of this work is seeing that it doesn't just apply to one project. It can apply across the city. So we held several staff workshops where we invited staff to give us feedback on ideas and use techniques like rose, thorn, and bud and yes and, which allow people to give constructive feedback. And we've seen this spreading across the city in public utilities. I think we saw it in Parks and Recreation, where they're using those techniques on their own projects. So it really has spread. And as more departments adopt these practices, we're creating a culture of continuous improvement. So with that, I will invite Rebecca now to speak about the impact we are beginning to see. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Rebecca Mulder. I am the Assistant Director for Planning and Development and one of the members of the Harvard Bloomberg program. And so I want to talk a little bit with you guys about what we learned throughout the long months that we worked on this program. So as you heard from Hunter and Allie, our team was working to identify opportunities to enhance services for our users, and we decided to specifically focus on our permitting experiences. So one of the biggest shifts that we had to work through was to change our mentality from a process-focused approach to a more experience-driven approach. And with that, we had to ask different questions. So instead of saying, is a process working, we had to ask, how does the process feel while somebody's using it? So through the interviews and engagements with residents and staff, we were able to identify 7 key insights from those interviews and experiences that help us identify pain points, where our services are working, and how people are experiencing those processes as they move through them. One of the key insights that we developed was that inconsistent paths can erode confidence. And what we mean by that is that while a process may work, and we did find through the interview process that people were overall able to get through our process. It does work. But with varying methods of implementing processes across different departments and through different functions within the city, some of those disconnects can erode confidence that users feel, and there's a disjointedness. And so those inconsistent paths can be something that we need to work on. When we developed the 7 insights, we not only, the way we did that is by all of the user input from staff and residents. We identified key areas that there was a repeat theme. And then when we did that, we not only identified that area, but then we implemented what we call a how might we statement. So in that how might we, how can we translate what we're hearing into an objective that then gears how we're going to move forward and implement meaningful change. So if you take the inconsistent paths erode confidence, in that we would propose, how do we make people feel like interacting with the city is so seamless that it feels like self-checkout at Publix? We want it to feel user-friendly, easy to navigate, and so those are kind of the way we've changed our process and thinking, and I think that's really impactful as we move through the process. So we began not asking whether the process works, but whether it feels clear, consistent, and supportive for our users, our residents, and our staff alike. So this helped us frame that problem. Everyone here that's standing above you, they're result-driven workers. They identify a problem and want to resolve it immediately, look for a solution. And we had to slow down. We had to listen, throw out assumptions, and then work with the information we're given. And I think that was a very meaningful exercise through this program. This led to, instead of assuming every solution requires brand new operations and complete change in process, instead we looked at technology, communication options, and small operational adjustments that can create meaningful impacts for everyone. And from there, the team used those 7 insights to shape the next phase of the work, which was to identify some strong initiatives to then move forward. And from those initiatives, we began working on prototyping. And prototyping, we started testing those, really engaging, and I thought was quite a fun activity, hands-on activities for staff and for residents to kind of feel what we heard. And are we translating that correctly based on what you provided? Are we getting it right? And so I think that was a really fun experiment for everyone. And we're looking forward to those next phases. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Lieutenant Hasty, and she'll kind of talk about the prototyping and where the group's going to go moving forward. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Council, Mr. Mayor. I'm Lieutenant Meg Hasty, and I'm excited to tell you about the prototyping phase of our project. You've already heard the team collected over 1,200 ideas from city staff and stakeholders on how we could make improvements to the permitting process and the experience one has when interacting with the city. After our interviews and resident sessions, the focus became less about the permitting process specifically and more about the experience of interacting with the city. From the 7 insights Rebecca spoke about, the team began to explore solutions and generated 9 possibilities to bring to life during prototyping. After 7 months of research, compiling data, and brainstorming, things were starting to take shape, and we were eager to move forward. However, the enormous undertaking of prototyping began to set in, and we felt like we needed some assistance for this last phase. 5 new city staff members were recruited to assist in bringing us across the finish line. And the new ideas and amazing energy were just what the team needed at this point in the project. As an aside, I just wanted to note that bringing on additional team members at this point in the project was something that the Bloomberg-Harvard City Leadership Initiative has never done before, and they are now looking to implement that in every project going forward. Even with our new team members, we knew that we could not prototype all 9 ideas at once, so we brought it to a vote. We sorted the ideas from practical ideas to bold ideas and tried to get one from each side of the spectrum to start. The 2 ideas we believed we could bring to life would create, oh, sorry, I forgot my PowerPoint. I got so excited. The 2 ideas the team believed we could bring to life and would create immediate impact with city staff and stakeholders were Can I Do That and Access Granted. I think part of the fun was creating the names of these. Can I Do That and Access Granted were generated based off feedback received when attempting to seek answers from the city on permits, projects, or regulations. We heard that folks received different answers to the same question when posed to different departments, making the process frustrating and the requirements unclear. One city employee stated, quote, "They get a lot of phone calls by contractors and people because other people just don't know the answer." A resident told us, quote, "I still think the city is like, it's daunting to try to figure out. If you don't live it and breathe it, you don't know what department you need to reach." Statements like these resonated with the team and reinforced our commitment to make positive changes. Attacking prototyping, the core team split into 2 and began to prototype these concepts so that we could test our ideas with staff and stakeholders once again. Both teams decided a card sort prototype would be the most effective. Throughout this program, goals were set for us to strive for, and the prototyping phase was no different. The goal here, set by the Bloomberg-Harvard City Leadership Initiative, was to prototype 2 ideas and hold a minimum of 6 individual prototyping sessions. We took this goal of 6 individual sessions with a smile and a nod, and we ended up holding 39 individual sessions. We said, go big or go home, right? We wanted feedback on our ideas from as many people as we could get in front of. Those that participated in the prototyping were excited to contribute and have their voices be heard. We heard over and over how grateful people were to be able to help create something meaningful and offered continued help throughout the process. The feedback gathered throughout the prototyping session was used to continue the build of these ideas, increasing the fidelity of each prototype, retesting and refining with each round. Our work does not stop just because the Bloomberg-Harvard City Leadership Initiative has concluded. We will continue to work on our 2 prototyped initiative and look forward to moving forward with others. By the end of July, we will have finalized our portfolio to include an implementation schedule. We will begin meeting with city leaders across city departments to discuss forming implementation teams that will further supplement the core team and help facilitate the rollout of completed initiatives. The team will continue to work towards our goal of executing all 9 initiatives within the portfolio by 2030. Finally, I'd like to extend our gratitude to everyone that's been involved with the project so far, to you, Mr. Mayor, Council, our city manager, assistant city managers, our senior leadership and staff, as well as our residents in the community. Without the support from you all, the contributions and hard work of our core team members and the success of this project would not have been possible. And I'm happy to answer any questions if you'd like.
Okay, any questions from the council? Okay, Councilman Menino?
Go ahead. Not a question, just a couple comments. Thank you. And what a great team you put together, you and our leadership team. Not only is this an extremely bright group, but we all had the opportunity to jump into several exciting lessons. And I think we quickly all realized that beyond just the talent in the room, there was an extremely high amount of shared love for our team at Clearwater and for our city, and your passion for our city and how to improve it and how to push it forward and make it better. So there was no questions about that. I think we had the easy job of just randomly showing up to a couple sessions, but I think I commend you on all the time that you and the group put into it. I don't think you knew on the front end. It was exciting to be appointed to such an initiative, but you might not have known what you were actually getting into. But great job, and look forward to 2030 and executing all 9 of your bold initiatives. So congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Teixeira?
I will never forget that day. The first time I went, I was very tired, and I was like, oh, hope I could just sit this one out, just be an observer. And then I walk in, I saw those sticky notes, I'm like, nope, that's not gonna happen. And then within 10 minutes, the vibe in the room, the energy, had me all competitive. I don't know if you remember, but I doubled down. And at the end, I was like, what a magical experience to see all that energy and all the brain power and all the creativity in one room. And I thought it was so innovative, especially in a government sense, you know what I mean? And so I was so impressed with all of you in the way that you stepped out of your role and became, I guess advocates of being progressive and creative. And I've been so impressed ever since in all the steps that you've taken, and I think the results will show. So I want to thank you so much for engaging and committing to all this extra time. And I appreciate it, and I think the city will too.
Thank you.
Councilmember Olbert.
Yeah, I want to thank you too. You know, when I first came into the first meeting, I'm like, what is this about? Because with the sticky notes and I'm like, the second meeting I went to, it all came clear that it was a way to pull things out of your mind, and ideas, it seemed to gel better. And thanks to you, I mean, you guys had great groups because we all kind of moved around to different thought patterns, and it ended up I had a whole different way of thinking about it at the end. So thank you for sticking with it and working so hard with it. And I look forward to seeing the results in the next few years.
Thank you.
And I guess I'll wrap up from my end, council's end. So for the public, how this works is we were invited to participate, and so I ended up taking 2 trips, one at the beginning and one at the end, all paid for by Bloomberg Harvard City Leadership Institute, and the city manager and Assistant City Manager Slaughter took a trip too. So in addition to this initiative, we all had other networking with 45 cities from around the world, and it was a great value, completely paid for by Bloomberg Harvard to do all this. But I can tell you that, and former mayor of New York City, Michael Bloomberg, of course, he's a very wealthy man, but he doesn't have to spend it on this in cities. And so we thank him and his institute for sponsoring all this, paying for all this program we've been through. But to this group, I just want to say, when you go, as the 3 of us did, to these meetings, and they're on us when we're at these meetings about, on the front end, about what are you going to do with this? How are you going to leverage? We're investing in your city. How are you going to use these resources we're providing? There was some pressure on us. And I want to say, compliment the city manager, Assistant City Manager Slaughter, because the team, they put you all together. And I had a wrap-up meeting there in Boston here a couple months ago. I could not have raved more about your group. We found, and I compliment the city manager and her team for doing this, we found an incredibly talented group to do this. You all have just crushed it, knocked it out of the park. And the energy you brought to it, I'm sure there were some people, because it was competitive, that didn't make it, and this isn't any slight to them. There may have been others who would have contributed to the team and done just as well as you all did, but the ones that were selected, you all made me so proud as a mayor to go to the wrap-up, share with them what you'd been doing, and thank you for doing all that. All of you through your hearts, and I told them, boy, they really are into this. They really have seen the benefits of this and have enjoyed it, and it is really going to do great things for our city for years to come. So thank you for doing that. One of the slides you showed that probably is the most important is when it was on the next steps, and you had 3 steps in the follow-up after this. Yes, this one here. I got to ask a lot about that, because they want to make sure that this amount of money they've invested is really going to make a long-term effect in the cities that they invest in. And this is perfect. This is exactly what they want to see. And also want to, again, I think 3rd or 4th time now, I've complimented the city manager or team for putting this team together. But the other thing that made, I think, and will make this a successful long-term project is you're all from different departments. And so it really, one of you just said this, you can take what you have learned back and spread it throughout the city, some of these ideas, innovation, and hopefully that's, that will happen. We'll all of our departments across the city will follow your leadership on this issue and try to make our city more innovative and better serving the public than it's ever been. So, last thing before I move on, thank you for engaging the residents. And I've been struck, and maybe others have too, about, how, sometimes, even the 5 of us, we hear a lot from citizens, but sometimes we don't hear from those citizens that aren't the loudest. And diving in and really talking to folks about what are some of your experiences, kind of understanding how they feel when they're trying to navigate permitting. That's really important. And some of the things you shared about what you learned are important for our city as well. So with all that, thank you. Fantastic job. Appreciate all of you. You've done a great job. And on behalf of our city, thank you for your commitment in serving and leading on this important endeavor. Thank you.
Mayor, if I
City
may.
Manager?
I also, and I know you all feel the same way I do, about that we had amazing coaches in Micah and Alexis, and what a perfect fit for us, and how they motivated and could lead a team like ours that is so talented and problem solvers through this process and hanging in there with us. And you guys should be really proud, because you all impressed the Harvard Bloomberg team, and that's a major compliment. So again, well done. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you. That will move to item 4.1 on the agenda.
Approve the 6th amendment to contract for sale of city-owned vacant land between the City of Clearwater and Lake Bellevue Development LLC for real property located at 1454 South Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue.
Good afternoon, Council, Mayor. My name is Dylan May. I'm the housing manager. This item relates to the development of the city-owned property located at 1454 South Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue. In 2022, Council selected Habitat for Humanity of Pinellas County and Clearwater Neighborhood Housing Services through RFP 43-22 to develop the site as a 24-unit mixed-income owner-occupied townhome community. The project will provide 12 units to households earning up to 80% of area median income and 12 up to 120% of area median income. The city's contribution includes the donation of the property valued at $525,000 and a direct subsidy of $357,585 for a total city investment of $882,585. The city will also utilize $384 in ARPA-based funds to provide grant funds for solar and EV charging capabilities. Since the contract approval, the project has experienced several delays due to unforeseen development challenges, hurricane-related impacts, permitting and platting requirements, and financing coordination. Pinellas County has approved $1,015,025 in funding for the project. They did that back in February 2025. That helped to close the financing gap and kept the project moving forward. Council did approve a 5th amendment, which extended the closing date to June 30th, 2026. It also assigned the contract to the developer's special purpose LLC and provided additional protections for the city should the project fail to meet contractual obligations. The developer is now requesting an extension of the closing date to October 30th, 2026. This is to complete financing arrangements and finalize operating agreement negotiations. No additional city funding is being requested as part of this amendment. Staff recommends approval of the extension to allow the project to move forward and bring these 24 affordable and workforce homeownership opportunities to the community. With that, I'm happy to address any questions.
Okay. Any questions on this agenda item? Councilmember Rob Britton.
Not a question, just a comment. You know, we've talked about affordable housing for so long here in the city, and I just wanted to make a comment that it really, for a developer, to attract a developer to do it, it takes a boatload of partners. And sometimes almost all the time, they run into roadblocks and things like this. So I'm fine with extending it. That gives us more of the units that we really need in Clearwater, and I'm excited that it's going to happen.
Okay. Any other comments? Do we have consent?
Yep.
We have consent on agenda item 4.1. Thank you. Agenda item 4.2.
Declare a surplus a list of certain real properties owned by the City of Clearwater. Approve the transfer of said properties to the City of Clearwater Community Redevelopment Agency and authorize the appropriate officials to execute same.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council, City Manager, Assistant City Managers Battle and Slaughter, other respective members of the dais. This item is a strategic transfer of redevelopment properties to the CRA to align our ownership with redevelopment and implementation responsibilities. Those properties include Gould Street, give me if I'm pronouncing that wrong, Park Street, which is 525 Park Street, 618 Drew Street, North Garden Avenue parcels. We have Gould Street parcel, Washington Avenue parcel, South Madison Avenue, and then South Fort Harrison Avenue, the Pierce Street parcels, Chestnut Street parcel, Court Street parcel, are all on the list. Collectively, these properties represent strategic redevelopment assets within the CRA boundaries. Transferring them to the CRA will certainly align ownership and redevelopment responsibilities, improve coordination, support adopted redevelopment goals, and positions these sites for future investment while maintaining full public oversight and transparency. And if you have any questions, I stand ready to answer them.
Any questions on this agenda item? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item 5.1.
Annual Comprehensive Financial Report for fiscal year 2025.
Good afternoon, Monica Mitchell, Assistant Finance Director. This item is for the presentation of the city's audit report for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2025. I would like to thank all of the controllers and senior accountants throughout the city who prepare the financial statements for the respective funds, especially those who stepped in at the last minute to fill in for vacant controller positions, as well as the support staff who contributed to this effort. And again, I'd like to present Lauren Strope, a partner with Cherry Breckert, to give the audit presentation.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Lauren Strope, and I'm an audit partner with Cherry Breckert, and I'm pleased to give my report to you today. So this is just a brief agenda of what we're going to cover, but really what I'm going to go into is the nature, the timing, and the extent of the audit results. As I warned you, I'm a better auditor than I am a presenter, so if I start going too fast, just let me know. This is your client service team. I served as your engagement partner, and Brian Leffick served as your second reviewer, meaning he did a cold review after me and my team completed our audit. He went in and ensured that everything was up to par. All right, probably the most important slide of the audit. So we did complete our audit of the city's ACFR, and we issued our opinions dated March 31st. We issued unmodified opinions on your financial statements. In order to do so, we covered generally accepted auditing. We followed generally accepted auditing standards, which require us to plan and perform our audit and then communicate the results to you today. We follow a variety of different standards when we complete this audit, including government auditing standards, and we'll go into that in a second. We also completed this federal and state single audit. Chapter 10.550, Rules of the Auditor General of the State of Florida, and then an unmodified opinion on your compliance with investment policies here in the state of Florida. So a lot on this slide, but essentially you have all clean opinions. The government auditing standards opinion, though, we do have one thing that we need to discuss. There were no material weaknesses noted, but there was one significant deficiency. A material weakness is a deficiency or series of deficiencies such that a material misstatement might happen in your financial statements and not be caught in a timely manner. A significant deficiency is a step below that in severity, but still warrants the attention of you, those charged with governance. What this one had to do with was there were some amounts that were requested under FEMA, so both revenue and AR was recorded. However, these amounts were covered under an insurance settlement, so that should not have been previously recorded. As I mentioned, we did complete a single audit. These are the federal and state programs that we tested. There can be up to 14 different compliance requirements, and we look at both compliance and internal controls over those compliance for all 14 of them. We are pleased to report that you have a clean or unmodified opinion here, meaning that we did not have any issues with compliance or internal controls over that compliance. I am pleased to report that there were no corrected misstatements, meaning me and my team did not have to suggest to management that an entry be made in order to bring your financial statements in line with GAAP or generally accepted accounting principles. There was one uncorrected misstatement, and that has to do with the significant deficiency that we previously discussed. Because these amounts related to a prior year, you could have restated your financial statements for that. The uncorrected misstatement was simply to do that as the amount was run through the current year and expensed. I would like to state that your ending net position is exactly how it should be. So. Just some of the qualitative aspects of the accounting practices. If you're like me and you're super fun, you can look at Note 1 to the financial statements because that discusses all the accounting policies that the city uses. You did adopt a couple different new standards. One did impact your financial statements, and that covered compensated absences. And that just really put an apples to apples with everyone who has compensated absences regarding how they were recorded. We did not know any inappropriate accounting policies or practices when we completed your audit. We are not aware of any significant related party transactions or relationships, and we did not find any during the course of our audit. The only significant or unusual transaction that we had in 2025 really related to the hurricane and all the transactions that went along with that, including the FEMA reimbursement and then that large federal program in your single audit. The financial statements are not all just hard numbers. Inherently, there's a lot of management judgment and estimate that goes into creating them, and that's just a byproduct of producing GAAP financial statements. As you can imagine, I spend a lot of time looking at those significant estimates and ensuring that they're fair in relation to the financials as a whole. This lists out all the ones that we took a look at, but again, we did find those all of the key factors and assumptions within them, and we found them reasonable in relation to the financial statements as a whole. We do believe that the financial statement disclosures are neutral, consistent, and clear for the reader and user. As your independent auditor, it is highly important that we retain our independence, and we are independent of the city. We do perform a non-attest function for you. Non-attest simply means non-audit, and that is filling out the appropriate sections of the data collection form. That's kind of required by your federal single audit, and assisting with the preparation of the EMS report. In all cases, you have folks in management who take responsibility for those services. Just some other required communications. I'm pleased to report that we did not have any difficulties or disagreements with management. They were wonderful to work with. Every time we had a question, and they can attest, we had quite a few. They made sure we got an answer. Anytime we needed support, we got that as well. I did not have to consult with anyone outside of my engagement team to complete this audit. We did receive a representation letter from management, which was dated the same day as the report. Basically just says that everything that they told to us or provided to us was true to the best of their knowledge and belief. To our knowledge, management did not consult with accountants outside of us, and that would only be relevant if the entire reason why they were doing a particular accounting treatment was because ABC firm told them to. We just want to make sure that we got the same information and hopefully get to the same conclusion. We do not audit specifically for fraud or illegal acts, but as I'm sure you can imagine, we have a heightened sense of awareness of that as we complete our audit. We refer to that as professional skepticism. But as of the date of this presentation, we are not aware of any fraud, illegal acts, or violations of laws that we need to make you aware of today. We are not aware of any events or conditions that would indicate a substantial doubt about the city's ability to continue as going concern. Because you issue that act there are a lot of pieces of it that are not the basic financial statements, which are the financial statements themselves and the notes too. This slide just kind of goes over what our responsibility is related to the different pieces. I'm always talking about the past, but in the future, you're going to implement GASB 103 and 105. We'll work with management on that. There will be a change to your management discussions and analysis, but there will not be a change in how things are recorded. And with that, I will be quiet and answer any questions that you might have.
Okay. Any questions around the audit?
Thank you.
Well, you did a wonderful job. Actually, we like boring audit reports.
That's what everyone says,
so
yeah.
Thank you for going through the detail with us today.
Of course, anytime. And we serve at your pleasure, not just now, not just when we're doing the audit, but year round. So this is my information. If there's ever a question, I'm happy to help.
Yeah, thank you. That moves to item 6.1.
Authorize purchase order to Trihedral Engineering Limited doing business as Trihedral, Inc. of Orlando, Florida for supervisory control and data acquisition.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I am Jeff Elliott with CGS Energy, formerly Clearwater Gas, and I'm here to request a SCADA upgrade. We're piggybacking off of 7-25 RFP. This is a supervisor data and control acquisition software. This is an upgrade. It's in the total amount of $11,310 and with another $2,000 for 9 years after the fact. Any questions?
Questions on this agenda? If not, do we have consent? We have consent on 6.1. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Agenda item 7.1.
Amend Chapter 30 of the Code of Ordinances, Traffic and Motor Vehicles to modernize parking operations, update enforcement procedures, and revise related fees, and pass Ordinance 9909-26 on first reading.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. This ordinance updates the city's parking code to reflect current parking operations and technology. The proposed changes allow for mobile payment platforms, digital parking permits, electronic responses to parking citations, and other administrative updates that align the code with how the parking system actually operates today. The ordinance also updates parking fines and certain administrative fees. Most parking fines have remained largely unchanged since 2005. Staff found that in some circumstances it can be less expensive to receive a parking citation than to legally park for the day. The proposed adjustments restore the intended relationship between parking rates and parking penalties and help encourage compliance with parking regulations. I'm available for questions. Oh, I'm sorry. Do I need to say that?
It's not picking up as well today. But,
do I need to repeat
that? Any questions on this agenda? We're just coming forward with the current technology of today's society, right?
Right. Some of our older, some of our existing regulations talk about pay and display.
Right.
We got rid of the technology years ago, so it's talking about mobile payments and that kind of stuff.
Okay. Okay. No questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Move to agenda item 7.2.
Approve supplemental work order number 2 and increase to the purchase order with Driggers Engineering Services, Inc. For additional geotechnical inspection construction materials.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Marcus Williamson, Public Works Director. This is associated with the Osceola parking garage. These are our on-site geotech folks that are out there. The drilled shafts that are going in are taking a little bit longer, so this keeps our independent third-party geotech folks out there inspecting what's going on to make sure that the shafts are going in how we want them. And they also provide a bunch of the documentation on how they're doing it. Also in there is a change order. It's a rather large change order that was shown in there. We're not ready to bring that one forward. We think that one has some significant items that we need to address with them, as we're definitely not on the same magnitude of changes. But we just wanted to make you aware that was out there. We're starting to negotiate with the contractor now. Don't want to go into too many details. We prefer to have those negotiations with them, but just want to make you aware of that one.
Okay.
So standing by if there's any questions.
Okay. Any questions on this? Councilman Earl Britton.
So, North Beach, north of Acacia and Mandalay, they've cut across the road, I don't know, every 50 feet or whatever, and they've temporarily put a patch back over it, but if you're driving, I mean, you're going over these bumps. Is that going to be repaved at any time soon, or are you going to wait till the bigger project with the drainage pipes going in happens?
So they were out and did some work again. I thought they've already been back out there. They cut a section of that out and they went back through up
If
there.
I may, Mayor Dan Slaughter, Assistant City Manager, I believe that's a utilities project, so let us get with utilities and get back to you if it's okay. It's not a public
Okay.
works project.
Yeah, and I was just going to recommend, when they do pave that area of Mandalay, do something with the roundabout on Acacia because it's all over the place. I don't know, I can't imagine the drainage even working properly there.
I think we've paved it twice since I've been Assistant City Manager.
Have you?
Yeah, so we've had a little bit of difficulty in getting the subsurface to remain stable, but I'll get with utilities, see where they are now.
And I'll double check that. They had gone back out after spring break. That's why I thought they'd fixed it, but if we're having issues again, we need to go back out and see if we got some compaction
thank you.
issues or something.
Any other questions on this agenda item? If not, do we have consent?
Okay.
Yes, we have consent. Okay. So we will move to agenda item 7.3.
Approve a professional service agreement and purchase order with Mark Taylor, Inc. to provide owner's representative services for the Phillies Bay Care Ball Field Improvements Project.
Good afternoon, Mayor, council members, Marcus Williamson. Excited to bring this one forward. So this is our owner's rep for the Phillies. We had 14 different respondents. That's just a little bit of the experience that Mark Taylor has. So a lot of big names that are out there. They're just coming off the Roger Dean work over there, had some challenges much similar to what we're going to be going through with trying to keep the stadium operational for the spring training timeframes. They did a lot with permitting, which we're really excited about because that's one of the things we wanted to make sure we're doing everything we can to get the permits through the process. So this item's the first kind of scoping. We really need to roll up our sleeves with the Phillies, make sure we fully understand what the scope and schedule are going to be so that we can wrap how we're going to help support the effort, make sure that the permitting side of things is going to work with it. Also ensure we're doing some of that fiscal accountability. So this gets us started, this gets us through that first window. We will ultimately have to come back, but we need to get through this first one so that we can get our arms around what the full request is going to be with them. But again, excited, pretty experienced firm out there.
Okay. Any questions on this one? Councilmember Menino?
I got a question, thank you. No question about the experience, that's for sure. That list says it all. Nor do I question, and I do recognize the vital importance of an owner's rep representing this project, and it's an absolute must. And I'm supportive of this. My question is, does us approving this, does that lock us into any inflexibility that we're hoping to in terms of sharing this financial responsibility with the overall project with the Phillies and county?
I'll go ahead and take that. No, it doesn't. And we are still in negotiations with the Phillies as we work through the construction and the actual contract details. And so this is a conversation we're continuing to have with them. And we will certainly keep council posted. This would be, should those conversations not be effective, we would be on the hook for the cost. So just to make sure that part is clear, because we would be entering into this agreement. But our goal is that it'll be a part of the project.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Do we have consent?
Yes.
We have consent on agenda item 7.3. Thank you. Agenda item 7.4.
Approve a purchase order increase to Broadus and Associates, Inc. for professional services related to the Public Works Department program.
Good afternoon again, Mayor, council members, Marcus Williamson, Public Works Department. So this one really helps us with a lot of the estimating, scheduling, and some of the training support that we need. We've seen tremendous benefit as we've gone through some of these projects with the upfront scoping. So if you take City Hall, we're over $4 million in cost savings that we've driven through with some of these efforts. Osceola Garage, when we awarded it, we got $3 million off of what was that GMP initially as we went back out. So we're seeing tangible benefits by spending this little. The return on investment that's coming back is pretty significant. They're helping us a lot with the schedule too, holding the contractors accountable on the schedules, asking them some of those tough questions of, how can we pull some of these schedules back, helping explain to them how they've got skin in the games that, part of the issues that were caused were there. So we view this as a very valuable tool. We're also recognizing as we've started to fill out our staff a lot more, we've got some training that we need to do with our staff to help educate them on here's ways you negotiate change orders, here's ways that you properly scope the project. So there's some funds in there to help educate our staff also. So standing by if there's any questions.
Okay. Questions?
Not questions, just comments. I just appreciate all that you're doing. I mean, it's very obvious that there's a benefit to the city, and I wanted to formally thank you for it.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Do we have consent?
Yes.
Yep.
We have consent on 7.4. Thank you. Agenda item 8.1.
Authorize the purchase order to Allen J. Automotive Management, Inc., Allen J. Fleet Sales of Sebring, Florida for one 2026 Ford F-450 Super Crew Cab.
Mr. Mayor, Council, good evening. Clearwater Fire Rescue is requesting approval to purchase a new vehicle to replace Rescue Medic 45. The total cost is $109,423. This includes a 2026 Ford F-450 Super Crew Cab chassis, competitively procured options, and specialized emergency service equipment. The vehicle and options will be purchased through an existing government contract used by the City of Tallahassee. The total purchase cost includes custom equipment, including storage compartments, shelving, lighting, paint, and other components required for rescue operations. Purchasing and installing this equipment during the vehicle build is the most efficient and cost-effective approach, helping avoid additional labor, warranty issues, and service delays. Due to the extended manufacturing schedules, delivery is expected approximately 24 months after the order is accepted, and no payment is required until the vehicle is received. The purchase is included in the city's capital improvement plan and will be funded through the anticipated Pinellas County EMS tax reimbursements. I'm available for any questions.
Okay. Any questions on this agenda item? If not, do we have consent?
Yes.
We have consent on 8.1. Thank you, Chief. Agenda item 9.1.
Authorize an increase to purchase order with Acela Inc. for the addition of open counter customer service module, user licensing, e-permitting hub, and professional services support.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. David Pearson, IT Manager. This item is to request an increase to the purchase order with Acela in the amount of $513,078 for revised not to exceed amount of $2,805,826. This increase is being requested to add Acela's open counter product. Open counter is being added in support of our Bloomberg Harvard project, specifically the Can I Do That project idea. Based on our extensive research and interviews during the Bloomberg Harvard program, we found Acela users frequently struggle to find all necessary permit information as it relates to their unique project and what will be required. Open counter is intended to improve the customer permitting experience by offering homeowners and businesses a guided permit navigation tool, along with cost estimation features and checklist-style requirement summaries. Users can select their project type, answer clarifying questions, and get a summary of what will be required. In addition to open counter, the increase is being requested to add 10 additional Acela user licenses, e-permit hub enhanced reporting services, and $250,000 of professional services fees. With that, happy to answer any questions.
Any questions on this agenda item? Okay. If not, do we have consent? We have consent on 9.1. Thank you. Agenda item 9.2.
Authorize a purchase order with Trimble, Inc. for a computerized maintenance and management system, Southport.
Mayor, Council, Dan Mayer, IT Director. This is a renewal of our annual licensing for Trimble, which was formerly referred to as CityWorks. It's our asset and work management solution. We completed phase 1 of the project for all of utilities, and we increased the license count there, and we'll be bringing forward an item in the next month or so for phase 2, which is Public Works, to do those sections of those operations. So be happy to answer any questions with regard to this licensing.
Questions on this agenda item? None? Do we have consent? Yes. We have consent on 9.2. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Agenda item 10.1.
Authorize a change order and increase to the purchase order with Razorback LLC for additional rehabilitation services.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council. Mike Flanagan, Public Utilities Director. Today I'm requesting authorization for a change order in the purchase order with Razorback LLC for the RO1 dual media filter rehabilitation in the amount of $271,800, which increases the total contract to $1,325,930, along with a 20 calendar day contract extension with that as well. Essentially, there was some unforeseen challenges that were likely associated with a prior project that happened back in 2008. This had nothing to do with the contractor. However, the media went into an area where it wasn't intended to go, so we have to remove that media and be able to replace that media in filters 1 and 2. So that's the challenge that we face, and that's the reason behind this. It's tied to high-performing government by systematically maintaining critical public infrastructure to ensure long-term efficiency and reliability of our water treatment operations. I'm happy to respond to any questions that you may have.
Okay. Any questions on this agenda item? If not, do we have consent? Yes. Consent on 10.1. Thank you. Agenda item 10.2.
Approve a work order to Mead and Hunt, Inc. for design and construction engineering services for the RO1 asset storage and feed system.
Good afternoon again, Mayor and Council. Mike Flanagan, Public Utilities Director. Requesting approval work order for Mead and Hunt for design and construction engineering services for the RO1 asset storage and feed project in the amount of $482,028 in pursuant to RFQ 34-23. It's a 420-day project addressing operational scaling and fouling issues that would currently require replacement of 186 cartridge filters weekly at an estimated cost of $1,356. It's funded by revenues from the Water and Sewer Utility Enterprise Fund. This action aligns with our strategic priority of high-performing government by focusing on maintaining public infrastructure through systematic management efforts to optimize city assets and resources. I'm happy to respond to any questions that you may have.
Okay. Any questions on this agenda item? If not, do we have consent? Yes. We have consent on 10.2. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Agenda item 11.1.
That's right.
So Council, 11.1, it's a city attorney item. It's to approve the First Amendment to a legal services agreement with Bryant Miller Olive. In April of this year, I hired Bryant Miller Olive to serve as a consultant involving the Save the Garden petition. Pursuant to the procurement code and the procurement manual, I'm authorized to approve legal services agreements up to $100,000. In May, a complaint was filed against the city involving the Save the Garden petition. So I am asking for approval of this item, which adds litigation services to the contract and also increases the amount up to $100,000. Now, in terms of the amount up to $100,000, that I would say is more of a standard amount that the former city attorney frequently used, dating back to last year. And the city code requires that any type of litigation matter is approved by council, which is why I'm seeking council approval. The agreement is exempt from bidding pursuant to 2.5631G. And I hired Bryant Miller and Olive. They have represented the city on and off for the last 20 years. They have offices in Miami, Tampa, Orlando, Tallahassee, and they specialize in local government law.
Okay, any questions on this agenda? If none, do we have consent?
Yes.
Yes, we have consent. on 11.1, 11.2.
11.2 is a second reading. 11.3 and 11.4 are also second readings.
Yeah, I do have some questions that you raised. You talked to us about the Attorney General's letter, or opinion. And just wanted to go further into that, if you would, just on the difference between that, his opinion, and determination by a court. And I'm asking these questions, no disrespect to the Attorney General. Somehow that came through prior times I've asked questions. I like the Attorney General. He's a great Attorney General. Have had conversations with him here recently. Does a great job, and certainly respect his opinion and the weight of his opinion. So the questions I'm asking are just to get some clarification from you as our city attorney on the difference between the two. So what would be the difference between the weight is his opinion, or as he even references in a footnote, a court determination of this?
Right. I think the best way to describe it would be, let's say, the level of authority. So courts have held that Attorney General's opinions are not binding on the courts, but they're highly persuasive. Now, certainly in my opinion, counsel can rely upon the opinion of the Attorney General. Now, if counsel does not rely upon that opinion, then I think that the other course of action would be potentially some type of litigation, and that's where a court would decide. They would decide the ownership of the road either through an action initiated by the city or through the applicant, some type of quiet title action. And the decision by the court would have more weight than the AG's opinion. But in my opinion, counsel can rely upon this particular Attorney General's opinion as it relates to the ownership of the land under guard and at issue.
So in his opinion, I will go back to why we asked for a letter that's behind us, but there were two questions asked. First one was whether the city of Clearwater, the city, or the Church of Scientology, the church, owns the land underlying a certain section of Garden Avenue in Clearwater, Florida. And the second question is whether the church can petition to vacate that same section without paying fair market value. Really, the first question is kind of the threshold question, is who owns the street or the land underneath the street, correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And in that, he says, in short, my answer to the first question is the church, quote, most likely, end of quote, owns the land under the section of Garden Avenue at issue. So he did qualify it a bit, right? It's not complete certainty. He just said most likely.
Correct.
But if a court determined it, it would be conclusive, right?
I would say that a court's opinion is certainly more binding than an Attorney General's opinion.
And they would make a determination, the court would.
The court would make
yes
a
or no. Yeah.
determination as to the ownership, the fee simple ownership of the land under guard, correct?
Okay. So even though we could rely on this opinion, that argument for the public is still out there that your predecessor, Mr. Margolis, advanced on behalf of the citizens, that the citizens, the public, owns the street. That argument is still, it's a still reasonable argument based upon his research and your office's research and the memo that you put forward. Even though the Attorney General's opinion is persuasive, there's still a valid argument, which we had briefed, that the city and the citizens own the street.
Right. I would agree that the former city attorney's opinion is still out there. Now, I wasn't actually a part of it, but we do have the Attorney General's opinion, which came out after Mr. Margolis' opinion.
And as I pointed out before, either us or the applicant to vacate, either one could ask a court to decide conclusively, consider the arguments made on behalf of the public, that the public owns the street, it's public property. Either one could ask the court to determine that, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. All right. Anything further on this agenda?
Yeah, if you don't mind, thank you for asking those questions. I don't mean to, city attorney, put you on the hot seat, but while you're on the hot seat and answering the question, just for, I don't know, historical clarity, because I don't know the answer either, and you have been in the city attorney's office for a handful of years now, has Clearwater historically requested AG's opinions prior to this?
Yes.
We have? And
I don't know necessarily how many times they have been requested, but a few years ago, I know that there was an opinion requested involving a issue with the CRA, but it came from the city.
okay. And then just for clarity, did we follow that AG opinion, or did we take it further and go to the courts?
No, I believe it was followed.
The opinion was
Yes.
followed? Thank you.
Yes, Councilwoman Tashee.
I think what you were referring to was whether the funding in the CRA downtown could be mixed with the CRA in the Greenwood. That was the question.
Yeah.
So it was no questions on property, just on the, I guess, the funding, separating the two funding.
Yeah, whether or not there could be one account or two accounts.
Right, okay. Yeah, that was the one I remember too.
Anything further on this agenda? Okay, thank you. We will move to, let me get back to my notes here. Looks like we'll move to agenda item
So 11.3
11.3.
and
Yes.
11.4 are second readings.
Yes. Okay, any questions on those? Okay. Move to agenda item 11.5.
So 11.5, that is set for a third reading. That is an ordinance which amends Section 28.04 relating to trading and selling on streets. Back in April the 23rd, 2026, council approved the first reading, and then the second reading occurred on May the 7th of 2026. However, due to the second reading and the business impact statement not being properly noticed, we're coming back for a third reading. The program has not started. The program's set to start in July, so we have to come back for a third reading.
Okay. Anything on that? If not, then we'll move to agenda item 12, City Manager reports.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to thank the council. I know we've had quite a bit of conversations regarding the proposed referendum as it relates to the property taxes. And I know that you all are getting questions from the public and from employees, as are we. And so I just wanted to take this moment to provide a quick update as to the consensus I've received from council to move forward on an education campaign, which will be following the guidelines that the Florida League of Cities has put out. We will start getting that on our website and on our social media sites here shortly. And then we will continue to watch and see what other tools that the Florida League of Cities puts out and determine if we're going to do anything in addition to that. I know I've mentioned to all of you to, that's what our guide is. And so if there's anything on there that you would not want us to do, or if there's something on there that you think takes priority as we're working on our plan to educate, to just let us know. And so I just wanted to go on record to let everybody know that we are looking into that, and we know it's on everybody's minds, and we'll do what we can to educate, not to sway. We are prohibited from doing any kind of persuasive campaign on it, but to just educate what the reform means and how that could impact Clearwater. That's all I've got.
Well, while we're on that, I saw the same, Councilman Benito and I, was it Friday? Yeah. Friday program, and so that handout came through, and it says at the very top, and they reiterated several times. City Clerk Rosemary Call, by the way, I digress, but she was a hometown hero by the Florida League of Cities, and congratulations to that. But at the top, and they reiterated probably 3 times, make sure whatever you do, you run by your city attorney, because it is a very delicate issue. It's going to be a very ticklish issue. And I know that you and I discussed that you've done that with our city attorney, but they made it very clear that even though they're putting these things out, make sure that it's appropriate and that your city attorney is comfortable with it. So that's all I would ask, just to make sure, because we don't want to give the appearance that we're spending city taxpayer resources, advocating against something. We certainly want the public to have information, to know where their money goes, but we don't want to give the appearance at all that we're using city resources to advocate for or against anything that's political.
We've been in communication with the city attorney in regards to this, and everything that prior to us posting, we will work through his office as well.
Thank you. Okay. Councilman Menino.
Mayor, I thank you. I thank you for those discussions. I think they are important. I've had a handful of discussions with community members and municipal staff that are concerned about what it looks like. And I definitely think while we're all supportive of that democratic process of letting our citizens make those decisions of what they want their cities to look like, and I think we're all supportive of that process, I think addressing their questions is important in the process. So I look forward to having those discussions going forward on what this education plan looks like and what it involves, and agree 100% it has to directly run through the city attorney's office and given the green light to it. But I think it is important, and I think even community engagements and workshops at some point, I know we are a little bit of ways down from when the vote would be, but time moves fast. So I do look forward to having those discussions. I thank you for bringing this up. The mayor and I were at the Florida Suncoast League of Cities, and congratulations, Ms. Call. The mayor also forgot to identify that he got an award as well for a Hometown Hero, so congratulations to you too, but you two to have worked hard through the legislative sessions. But it's on the mind of every city municipality, and they went through 25 minutes of presentations, and every single municipal representative that sat there, even though they enjoyed Cuban sandwiches and plantains, on their mind in the forefront was, are we going to talk about property tax today? And that's what they're all concerned about, and what it looks like, allowing our citizens to decide what they want the future of their cities to look like. And that's what it comes down, and the citizens have those decisions to make. But I thank you for bringing that up and look forward to seeing what that education looks like going forward.
Yeah, thank you. And also, just as a reminder, because the two very much go hand in hand, our first budget work session is next month on July 16th. And so there will be more conversations about this and how we prepare next year's budget with the potential impacts of if the referendum is to pass or not. So that'll be another opportunity, and we will have an additional, more formalized plan in terms of what we're going to do from the education standpoint that we'll get to talk about at that meeting as well.
Well, thank you for all that. It was also pointed out that as of Friday, not even officially on the ballot yet. So just want to make sure everybody's attentive to that. And there will be, believe me, there will be robust discussion. There will be advertisements between now and November, if it even gets to the ballot. There's already been one lawsuit filed to try to keep it off the ballot. And the League of Cities pointed out it's not even met the qualifications yet to be on the ballot. So certainly, I think it's good that we're discussing, what our response will be as a city, but I think we, for time being, I hope we take a measured approach just to see how it plays out.
I know this weekend I've had several residents approach me, some with just simple questions and others with actually misinformation. But they all have the same thing in common, which is they really don't know what that means. And so the conversations have started, whether it's already formalized or not, or whatever stage in the process it is, the questions are already there. So I would be in support of at least providing the residents some educational tools, just sticking to the facts. So we're in the rails, but there's a lot of talk already out there because it's already in the media. So I would really be in support of education and with our council's approval and being in the rails, but definitely.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. All right, move to the next item, which is our city attorney reports.
Nothing to add, sir.
Okay. Item 14, new business. Any new business any councilman wants to add to a coming agenda? If not, move to item 15, council comments. Anyone have anything they want to add? No? If not, move to item 16, closing comments by mayor. We've got certainly some big events coming up for celebration of America's 250th birthday here in the next few weeks. And I know the city staff's planned really a week-long week of activities, and appreciate their participation in that. And we're going to have two, not just one, but two celebrations for the 4th of July on July 3rd with the drone show event, and then our traditional fireworks on July 4th. So as always, we remember, I believe it was last year, we had to hurry to beat the storm that was coming, and we pushed up the fireworks show just a little bit, and sure enough, as soon as it concluded, it just poured down rain. Everybody ran to the cars and got out of there safely. But we look forward to joining in with the rest of the country and celebrating this great country we're all blessed to live in here soon. So with that, the only thing I needed or wanted to share this afternoon. And with that, we will adjourn the work session, Clearwater City Council for June 15th, 2026.